What's going on, everyone, and welcome to Movie Emporium's movie review of Come True, the newest film from director Anthony Scott Burns. Before we begin, hey, if you like my channel, awesome, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium, hit that notification bell at the top to find out what's coming next. If you like any of these videos, awesome, hit that like button and comment below on any video that you watch, including this one. So, part of the Nightstream Film Festival, which is a bunch of film festivals that have come together during the pandemic to do a virtual screening film festival, we get a movie that I honestly have never heard of before. It's called Come True, and it's a movie that is something that I had read the reviews about because I was looking for something to review, and I heard so many good things about this. I heard this was original and that the surrealist imagery was very unique. So I paid the money to watch this movie, and this movie is about a young woman who is named Sarah, who's played by Julia Sarah Stone. And she is a young woman who is constantly on the run. She's a runaway. She's run away from home because of her nightmares, because of her dreams, which are very surrealist. You know, the director talked about in the live Q&A that it's basically a movie about his dreams and how he views the dreams in reality, in the sense of like that being black and white and so on and so forth. And it's very Polish, you know, the country, very Polish in its style of filmmaking. It's basically every time she sleeps, she imagines this very surrealist. I almost thought it was like an Escher or a Geiger style world, where you're seeing all these weird surreal images of like people floating or hands just in like weird places. And at the very end of each of these dreams before she wakes up is this image of this creature or this person that's in weird different poses, but every time she sees this character, all we see is the eyes, so we have no real idea about why this thing is happening to her. But I started getting kind of, you know, feels of like The Cell and stuff like that, you know, the Jennifer Lopez movie. And so she is offered the chance to do this sleep study, which is a way for this scientific group to kind of study the idea of REM and stuff like that. But as with these movies being horror films and sci-fi films, there's an underlining kind of interest about these people. They're looking for certain types of people. And Sarah happens to be one of those people with basically what her dreams are envisioning. And we have this character named Jeremy, who is played by Landon Liboiron. And he is kind of a weird, creepy guy at the beginning of this movie, and then he sort of falls for the Sarah character. They start to kind of develop a friendship, and we start to slowly learn what is exactly happening, why everything is happening, we slowly kind of start learning a little bit about what is going on in these dreams, and it makes it for a very strange, unnerving, very crazy type of feel of movie that doesn't necessarily land on its 2 feet at the very end of it. You know, this movie, as it plays out, you're very, very confused, but you're kind of going with it because of how interesting the nightmare visuals truly are. This is something that Andrew Scott Burns is really like well capable apparently of doing, is just creating these visuals of just like uneasiness and, you know, strangeness and darkness and just black and grays and whites. And the one thing about true cool horror films, especially when you watch like the 30s and 40s and 50s horror films, is the black and white nature makes it for a much more surreal, much more disturbing and dark nature for a film. So when you get into like the colorized versions of, you know, movies in like the 70s, 80s, and 90s horror films, there's something that kind of feels off and kind of feels different about those films. Not saying they're bad, but there's something truly unique, something truly horrifying about a black and white and gray type of scenario in horror film. You know, some of the best books that were in horror, of course the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, which all those famous images were in black and white and color and grays and stuff like that. So I think what Andrew Scott Burns is doing with those images is really giving you a sense of just unease and uncomfortability, and it just really works. It's like the biggest strength of the movie. I just think the story it gets a little confusing and it gets a little kind of pretentious in a lot of ways, but the characters and the actors in this movie, especially Sarah Stone, are they're great. They're actually well represented. I think Julia Sarah Stone, does a really nice job. She's unique looking. She has a very good persona to her. Her character motivations are very kind of interesting to watch and so on and so forth. But like with the kind of confusing nature of what the story is trying to tell you, the way this movie kind of sticks its landing is really kind of a letdown, because it has like really cool images up to like probably the last minute and a half of this movie. Then something happens that involves the Sarah character, and then something else happens that completely like unravels the whole entire nature of this surreal experience. And it's like something you go, oh, that seems really convenient. That seems really just kind of, you had no idea how to end this movie. And I'm not saying he didn't, but there's the last moment of this movie when you were in the shot looking exactly what this whole entire movie is about. It really is just kind of like, oh, I guess that lets all the air out of the tank, or all the gas out of the tank or whatever. And it kind of deflates the whole purpose of the movie. So I think overall the movie's still entertaining, it's still interesting, but it's like that last 30 seconds. It's such a minuscule amount of time. It almost derails the whole entire movie. And if the movie hadn't had such cool visuals, hadn't had such great characters, I think I would have been really upset. I mean, I really would have. You know, when you sit here and watch a horror film that's actually doing something unique, and then it kind of goes into a trope that you don't like, it just makes it for a little bit of an issue. It really does. So I'm not saying this movie is bad, because it really isn't. Just for that small moment, it still doesn't make the movie not worth watching. I just think it almost derails just because of that one segment. So if you can get past that one last 30-second segment, I think you will enjoy it. And like I said, I enjoyed it. I still would recommend it. It was a problem. So, but that's it. That's my take on the movie Come True. Thank you so much for watching. If you've seen this movie before, which, you know, if you've been to Fantasia Fest or something like that, you probably have seen it. Let me know what you thought of the movie. If you've seen the trailer, let me know what you think about the idea of this movie. Do you want to see it? Do you have any interest in all that good stuff? But otherwise, if you like my channel, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell at the top to find out what's coming in nice. If you like any of these videos, awesome. Hit the like button, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out.